Well, I thought it was pretty rare to see cemetery next to a college, but here we go again. That's the dorm for the college. I forget the name of this college, Ontario, Oregon. But we got a cemetery right next to it. Really lends to a different environment for the college, I think. A different feel, maybe. And it's a pretty old cemetery. At least it goes back to 1877 as far as I've seen so far. Maybe this one's, no, 1907. Looks like a little baby probably died. Yeah, 4-year-old. 1859. Whoa. So that's 1864. That's the oldest one I see so far. So we're talking about descendants of the pioneers pretty much, because it really sounds like the pioneers descended in the 1860s, 1850s, before the 1860s roughly, late 1850s, 1840s with the original gold prospectors. There hasn't been any talk about gold prospecting around this area, but a lot of areas in the eastern Oregon and western Idaho, really people were drawn for the gold and all the other minerals they could find too. A lot of pioneers. I was reading about on Wikipedia about areas south of here now, south of Ontario, in Nissa. They're talking about how the environment was too harsh for the Indians that lived here. The Indians did live here, but it was so harsh that I'm sure their populations remain pretty small. And it's not like the environment changed all that much these days. It's pretty harsh just looking at the weather. Evergreen Cemetery. And dogs are permitted at this cemetery. I've seen a sign for one cemetery where they were not. Alright, so that guy learns that this is a dead end. No through traffic. Except for me. Except for bicyclers and pedestrians. But there's also an Oregon Trail building, which I find interesting. It got me thinking about how, like, when the pioneers did come over here, they weren't really looking for jobs. People aren't like, the pioneers weren't, they didn't have like, ooh, what jobs are available, type of mentality. They were just interested in farming and making a living off of the land, which they learned the hard way by the Indians' examples, that it was difficult, that it's not easy to make a living to farm around here because it's such a harsh environment. But with the help of energy, with the help of Idaho Power and just gas and all the technology we have, we're able to make the harsh conditions more habitable. But at what cost? I mean, the dams are killing off fish. I was reading about the history of Idaho Power at this museum up ahead. There's a museum on this property, this huge property, and they're saying that Idaho. I think it's pretty politically written. It's like politically biased towards Idaho Power. I think Idaho Power put together the history, but they talked about how when they put up the dams, they were really conscious about the fish population, even as early as the 1920s. But some of their ideas were maybe a little far-fetched, like actually carrying the fish around the dams. Like there's a bus system for them or something. They got a lot of money in grants, I believe, to investigate that. Power was pretty essential, and it grew. They were able to grow Idaho Power considerably throughout the 20s and 30s. And after the pioneers came and stuff, the pioneers didn't come over looking for jobs exactly. The jobs had to be created after they established kind of a food network, but it wasn't easy to transport that food. So that's where jobs started coming into play, transporting the food, getting communication set up, and setting up just more easier lifestyles, convenient lifestyles. Yeah.